Hey guys, Blaster Stash it Friday night. There's only the three of us here. Again, Paul is out with some family function stuff going on, functions or something. I don't know what
Shut
he's
your
doing.
fucking mouth.
No. We're not just too early, Mike. We're too early for the whole time.
Oh.
We are going to jump into our quotes. We'll start with Drew with your nice new haircut tonight, by the way.
Yeah. First character says to the second character, "Stand up. You're a king."
Maybe Black Panther?
Yeah, that would be it right there.
Oh, wow. Okay. Going on to Mike.
All right, I'm being ambushed by my dog. Got some people jumping into the chat. Who's in here? Funk Off was the first one. Jock Yo's in here. He said, "Hey guys." Bruce Zayas and Catrin Figures, who is currently watching heavy metal, or she was.
She's not asleep tonight.
Yeah, she's not asleep tonight. But my quote goes back to 2005. It is actually a horror. Can you stop? Can you fucking go away? God.
Is that the quote?
The thing.
No. My quote is, people say that God is dead, but how can I think that if I show him the devil?
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. Can you repeat that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you.
People say that God is dead, but how can I think that if I show them the devil?
Oh, my goodness.
And what is this Area 51, this hop-along shit? I know I've been on crutches for a couple days. I'm just kidding, Area. I love you, brother. It's from 2005.
The Punisher.
No.
Yeah, okay, I don't know.
It is...
I have no idea.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
No wonder I never saw it.
How dare you? I love that.
I know. My movie goes way back to 88, 86, I think. I'm trying to pull off an accent here. I'm trying to pull off an accent. I get made fun of. Well, I'm going to try it, okay? They pull a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one after the morgue. That's the Chicago way. Come on, Mike. That was
year?
my word. Oh, late 80s, mid to late 80s. Hopalong Cassidy, no. That's a horrible Sean Connery accent. I could probably do one better on a different line, but Jam Comics got it. It's the Untouchables.
Oh, the fucking reviews from the back here. Okay, let's go through this chat here. We got a whole bunch of people.
Look,
everybody's showing up.
Give us a little update on that chatter there.
Area 51's in here. He says meat and potatoes, baby. We got some meat and potatoes this week. Jacko asked if she was watching heavy metal on Blu-ray. Jim's Comics is in here. And that is it. Gangs of New York. I thought of Gangs of New York. Then he said the year.
In Chicago, though. That's not New York.
Yeah.
Funk Off says, "Good to have me back." It's good to be back, guys. It's been 2 long weeks of not talking nerd shit with you guys, and I'm sorely disappointed in myself.
Well, we're glad to have you back, too. You always bring an interesting aspect to the show. We love it. Talking about heavy metal there. I remember I tried to show my oldest son heavy metal. I remember when I was a kid, that movie, I finally got to watch it like at 15 years old. I'm like, ooh, dude, cartoon boobies. Dude, absolutely loved it and was enthralled with it the whole entire time. I tried to show it my son. He's 18. He's like, whatever.
He's got the internet, man. There's boobies all over it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I guess you had to hardly look through the squiggly lines when you were a kid, when you're our age, on the preview channel. But
we reviews from the back here said Drew's back and Paul's down. Yeah, we can't get 4 men on here to save our life.
Me and Paul are actually the same person. I'm just wearing a unique prosthetic, and that's where that begins and ends. Every time we're on at the same time, it's really high production value camera tricks, and we can't afford that every episode.
Yeah, it's
sorry, guys.
David Blaine's in here, kind of doing some tricks for us.
Whole lot of mirrors.
Yeah. Next, we're gonna go walk through the Great Wall of China, aren't you?
My back is killing me. Fuck Marvel.
What an ass! What an ass! So we're gonna go. I'm sorry, Mike.
I missed it. What happened?
You missed it. You missed it. Sorry.
Fuck it.
Hey, we love you, Paul.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
What am I doing?
Huh? Well, you were saying something about the chat. If you're done with chat, go to skip your first book. Go
Well,
ahead.
I just wanted to say that Don the comic book junkie is in the house.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Don?
He saw Empire Strikes Back and Heavy Metal at the drive-in. I saw the original Star Wars in the theater. I am old. Jim's comic said it. J. Rodham 78. Flip those ASM 796. Okay.
I didn't get one. I couldn't find one today.
So since we're talking about 796, why is everybody saying flip this book? He's not the fucking Red Goblin yet.
The speculation's at an all-time high. It's absolute insanity. This is gonna be one of those things.
Anyway, since
it's gonna be the new Weapon H,
I guess. But like I said, he's not the Red Goblin yet. He's just wearing the freaking Carnage suit. And this one we get Anti-Venom dealing with Boomerang and he's healing a downed officer. Good to see he's doing well after the events of that last storyline. For whatever reason, everyone, Flash, Anti-Venom, Peter, MJ, they all end up at a Alchemex demo. The Goblin King attacks. Pete and Anti-Venom, Spider-Man and Anti-Venom save the day. Then we go into Carnage actually frees Osborn of the nanites that keep him from becoming the Goblin, and talks about future plans, him eventually becoming the Red Goblin. And there is a hint of Pete and MJ getting back together in this. So this is definite stash. So you guys, 796.
I didn't know you read that. I didn't have it on the list here.
796 going to be worth $1,000 for nothing.
You weren't supposed to talk about that. You didn't tell me that was on your list.
I did tell you that was on my list.
No, I did not. I don't see it on my list.
I hate it when mom and dad fight.
We'll go ahead and kick it over to. Oh yeah.
Which one's the mother? That's what
I read. You're both a couple of mothers, I'll tell you that much.
We'll go ahead and head over to Drew. You read that too, didn't you?
I did read that, and I really enjoyed it. I thought the art was on point. The story was really well handled. You got some fallout from the Venom Inc. storyline with Anti-Venom hanging around, helping Peter out with some spider-related matters. This build up to the Red Goblin, Carnage, Green Goblin crossover character is the speculation is through the roof right now. But it's a really good story, and I'm really enjoying it. I think that Slott is going to end his run at 800, which means that we're leading up to that. I think that one of two things is going to happen. Either Aunt May will probably bite it at the hands of the Red Goblin, breaking Mephisto's deal and allowing Peter and Mary Jane to get back together, or Peter and Mary Jane will get back together just in time for the Red Goblin to off Mary Jane. Either way, I think this is a cool story. I like where it's going, and I'm going to keep picking up these issues.
When is that cover swipe coming out? Is that the next issue?
Yeah, the next issue.
Is that cover A or is that a cover B?
That's a variant.
Oh, it's a variant? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Go ahead.
The one where he's ripping spider suit? Okay.
Yeah, well, Spider-Man, I know it's a Hobgoblin on that one, right? That's the first Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
Right, it's an homage.
Going for $300? Is that what?
Yeah, because people are stupid.
Yeah, I went to both my stores. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was hoping to be able to at least get one copy, but unfortunately, I missed it. Since I'm going on my first book, it's actually one of my picks of the week. It didn't start out that way. I started reading through it and kind of like, but it was pretty good. It's Doctor Strange Damnation. The whole storyline is Doctor Strange ends up bringing, I don't know if it's Las Vegas or the whole world back after it's been destroyed. And you find out essentially hell's in Las Vegas. And Mephisto is there. What was that?
God bless you, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, whatever, Mike. So Mephisto's...
It didn't sound like a sneeze.
I thought it was a dog.
I didn't know what the hell that was either.
So Mephisto's essentially making a deal. He's like, "Hey, Las Vegas is great. It's full of sinners. Great place for me to hang out." And Doctor Strange kind of get the hell out. And then finally, he's willing to bet a wager against Doctor Strange in order to get Las Vegas back. And like I said, the storyline was, it's like, okay, he doesn't seem too bad. It wasn't until the last panel or the last few panels where they kind of get a little side story of this. I don't know who this guy is. Wong, yes, Mr. Wong.
Wong and Bats, the ghost dog.
And then he talks about, no, it needs a special team. And here's Blade, here's Moon Knight, Voodoo, Man-Thing, Iron Fist, Ghost Rider. And I'm not sure who the girl is. Who is that? Is that Scarlet Witch?
Bloodstone.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Elsa Bloodstone. Oh, okay, not Scarlet Witch. I was thinking it might have been Black Widow. Okay, but that makes more sense for being Elsa Bloodstone. But it's kind of cool that they're essentially having their own Justice League Dark kind of thing. This team that's going to fight the Supernaturals. I don't know. Has Marvel had one of those before? And I'll go
this is the reformation of the Midnight Suns.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Or a variation on the Secret Defenders as well. Is kind of what the Midnight Suns always were. Kind of the super team that fights the evil supernatural stuff. I absolutely loved this book, but I totally agree with you. I think that it was a lot of setup, a lot of stuff with Mephisto and Strange was kind of superfluous. Not until Bats the dog knocks on or scratches at Wong's door did the story really get interesting for me. I love Bats as a character from the most recent Doctor Strange run, where Loki was the Sorcerer Supreme. Loki kills Bats and then brings him back at the end of that arc as a ghost, so he can hang out with Strange some more. He's kind of Strange's new Wong, and for the two Wongs to get together to make a right, that kind of worked out. The Midnight Suns tease was kind of cool, and I'm looking forward to this.
The only thing I didn't like about it says, they follow the story in Ghost Rider in this, and it's like, dude, come on, dude, I don't want to tie in. I just want
right. It's a nice big crossover event.
Yeah, that's one thing that really kind of turned me off when I reread it again. But Mike,
there's not a whole lot of different issues that they're going to go through, but it's gonna be pretty concise, I believe, as far as like an overarching event. And the cool thing about when they do that is you're basically getting an issue weekly. It becomes a weekly series because they spread it between a couple different monthly books. So I dig that, actually.
But do you think that if you read just the main title, would you be able to get the gist of the story? Or do you think you can actually read those tie-ins?
I don't know if there is one main title. I think the Damnation is going to have part 1, part 2, part 3 throughout different titles.
Okay. Kind of like the Midnight Suns of the 90s when they did that.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Go ahead, Mike. I know you read that as well.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Doctor Strange fan, so I was giving this a shot. I knew that it was going to span into the Ghost Rider books and all that, which I love Ghost Rider and Moon Knight and all them. So I wanted to give this a shot, different change of pace from the Avengers story going on right now, and I absolutely loved it too. Always liked how do you say his name? Mephisto as well. So stash for me as well.
Good deal. Stash all around. I guess we'll go back to Drew in your next book.
My next book, let's see, something that everybody read. Let's go with Super Sons, number 13. Right here I have the Dustin Nguyen variant cover. Absolutely gorgeous. Loving Super Sons. This series is going away shortly, which is disappointing to me. What's that?
That's mind-boggling to me.
Oh, yeah, it's a Brian Michael Bendis thing, and I'm not that happy about it. I think Tomasi might be taking over Teen Titans, so he might throw John on that team there. Who knows? Hopefully he's not done with these two characters. But this story was really cool. The end of the last arc, Damian gets told that part of the condition of them being on the Super Sons together is that he has to attend school in Metropolis. And this is a little bit of that. He's kind of a dick to everybody because he's Damian Wayne. And
I was going to say, that's because he's Damian.
Right? And it comes down to a situation where his mother wants him to kill some people for her. And John is finally getting a glimpse at Damien's assassin past, which is kind of cool. I really dug it. The art was solid. Barbary is doing the art in this, not Jimenez, who is doing most of the Super Sons artwork. But I feel like he didn't miss a beat with this. Beautiful book, great story, great interaction with the characters. This is always a stash for me.
Yeah, Mike, you didn't have it? We didn't read it though, Mike. Right?
Yeah, I didn't read it. Where Don the Comic Book Junkie asked, "Do you need to get Doctor Strange to read this mini?" And I don't think so because I haven't been getting it and I enjoyed it.
No, it gives you a little bit of setup for the characters, but no, not really.
Something else. Shout out to Comics with Bueller. He says hello. Bueller. I'll stop. Okay.
Yeah, I knew you were going to do something like that.
I also see in the chat here that Jim's Comics says Donny Cates just announced he's writing a standalone Cosmic Ghost Rider series. I believe that's a mini that he announced. Also, Donny Cates is going to be working on Venom after the new Marvel relaunch, so I'll probably have to add that to my pull list because he's been doing some killer work on his books.
Go back Super Sons. Yeah, I read this one too. It seemed like it's a filler issue, kind of setting up the other story. You know, that good dynamic relationship between Damien and Jonathan is there. You know, Jonathan's still a goody two shoes, and Damien's still an asshole. So it's been consistently good. And like you too, this has been one of my favorite DC books, and I can't believe they're canceling it. But yeah, it's a good solid issue. I think it's gonna be wrapping up by issue. I think I've written down here by is it 19? No, 16. So 3 more issues and it's wrapping up.
Yes, so, this is the last arc.
Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate, but definitely still a stash for me. Mike, why he's drinking his Coke? Not even Diet Coke tonight. He's a rebel.
What?
Living on the edge.
Yeah, going with that real Coke stuff.
Well, next book. Let's do Batman 41.
Oh my God, let's not.
Well, I'm gonna make this fucking quick. If I can find the fucking book. Oh, here it is. Laying in the pile of trash. Fuck DC. This is a blast for me. I don't know what the hell I read in this one. So, I had high hopes. Poison Ivy was in it, my girl. But, yeah, I don't know. Blast.
I can see where it's setting up the story. I mean, I was kind of confused at first. Is Poison Ivy taking over? I was going to say Jarvis. So what the hell?
Alfred.
God dang! I can't believe I'm on a comic book show. Alfred's body, or is she taken over? Is she like morphed into him? Because I mean, Batman knocks him out one time, and then she sends Flash another time to get punched in the face, get knocked out by Batman. Yeah, I didn't know what the hell really was going on with this. I'm hoping it's going to build into a better story. Just from reading this, though, it doesn't really intrigue me enough to really want to pick it up. But it's Batman. I'm going to be picking it up. So, unfortunately, that single issue I didn't care for. That's a blast for me. And going to Drew.
I think this is pretty much standard Tom King fare on Batman. I think that I did not like this issue. I didn't like exactly where it was going. But I'll wait and see the full picture and see how it shapes up. I think a lot of Tom King's arcs have been reading better in trade or all one arc at the same time. I kind of dig the fact that they're making Poison Ivy a more formidable foe. But, I mean, utilizing spores or whatever to mind control the entire city, that's a tad far-fetched. I might like the metaphor when it's done, but as of right now, this has been probably my least favorite Batman book in Tom King's run. And that includes the weird Zaz framing origin of Bruce Wayne issue, and I don't know what the hell was going on there either. So, they've been doing some good stuff with the character, at least personality-wise, through his engagement with Catwoman, and this seems like kind of a step back to play up Poison Ivy, but we'll see where it goes. a light blast for me. Not a fan of this issue.
I think I'd rather go back and read more stuff about Wonder Woman and Batman in that alternate universe, taking on the hordes of monsters. Or
I thought that was pretty cool. Pretty cool arc, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It was short. It was to the point. 2 issues. Tests Batman in his relationship, where he kind of passes that test, and there's some great action in there, and some really great one-liners. And I didn't really get any good action, or really anything, quippy that put a smile on my face in this issue. It was a whole lot of setup, and who knows where the hell it's going to go.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'll go with the book that I'm the only one who read it. If Paul was here, I'm sure he would have read it too. Punisher Platoon number 6. So this is the last issue of this miniseries. It was kind of anticlimactic. At the end of the last issue, was a sister colonel or whatever she was, she bailed out of the tree and is stabbing Punisher, and he had to falling on her, falling backwards, like breaking her back essentially, and he holds no qualms about taking a woman's life. Just freaking slices her throat open with a knife. They don't really show that. I mean, it just shows him from the back. You know what he's doing now. But what really is cool about this and kind of got me is what at the very end, they're talking about all this platoon, and everybody survived because of Frank Castle's actions in Vietnam. All the platoon survived. And as they're flying away, here's Frank Castle on the base, just standing there watching them fly away, not even waving. Everybody's waving at him. It kind of, I guess he does wave at the very end. But what kind of get me is the old guys were sitting there talking about, I wouldn't be a grandpa if it wasn't for Frank Castle. I wouldn't have survived that if it wasn't for Frank Castle. It's weird how one man's actions can totally change the life of many just by their actions. And he can learn, live a full life, have a family, where if he wasn't there, that wouldn't have happened. So it's kind of a cool wrap up to the story. I mean, I would really love to get my father-in-law's interpretation if he was in Vietnam and kind of like what he would think of it. But it was a good miniseries. I definitely enjoyed it. It's a stash for me. So let's move back to Drew.
Since you did a book nobody else read, I'll do a book nobody else read real quick. The Untouchable Nightwing number 39. This, they kind of added that recently to the top of the book, and I don't know if I care about it, but this is a pretty solid story. The villain in this, the judge, you kind of get his backstory, and it's really creepy and eerie. And Nightwing ends this issue in a bit of a pickle. So we're going to see if he gets out alive. This is definitely a stash for me. Real consistent book. And if you guys are Bat Family fans and aren't reading Nightwing, you're not doing yourself any favors. Go ahead and pick this one up.
So the next one, so he's in a pickle in the next one. What are you saying? So it's going to be the touchable pickle?
He's the untouchable in a pickle. So hopefully, that's the worst part. He's in a pickle and nobody can touch it. So,
oh man, that just sucks. God, thinking about untouchable pickles. Let's go on to Mike.
You can touch my pickle anytime you want, bro.
Okay. I appreciate that, Mike. Go ahead. This is going off the rails tonight. Oh my God.
Cat Run Figure says, "I'd like a Silver Sable series from Marvel. That one shot from a while back was awesome. Doubt we'll get it though." And I agree that one shot was pretty good. I'd like to see a Spider Grandpa. Where do you find upcoming Funko releases? I can't divulge my secrets, Bruce. But
I find all my upcoming Funko releases on Shut Your Funko Mouth, a segment on this show.
Oh, what a promo! What a promo!
Truthfully, it's on Facebook, on other YouTube channels. I just throughout the week. I bunch it all together and give it to you guys. My next book, since everybody's doing a book that no one else has read, and I can't find my fucking copy of it. Why can't? Oh, here it is. It's Hit Girl issue number 1. Awesome cover right there, and I got the other cover right there. So basically, in this one, if you are familiar with the Kick-Ass universe, Hit Girl is looking for a replacement for the original Kick-Ass, and she actually frees a hitman from a prison transport, and this book is fucking awesome. I don't know, I love it. This is actually my pick of the week. I think it's only 4 issues. Yeah, 4 issues. So pick it up, check it out. It's good stuff. It's Hit Girl. She's awesome.
I don't have my book in front of me, but I wasn't a real fan of the art. But if it's only 4 issues, I'd probably go and pick up the other 3 just to complete that little run and kind of finish it out. It was kind of interesting. I did love the she had the bomb on a guy. I guess the guy she was interviewing first to be her sidekick. But she ends up blowing him up and showing how powerful she is. It was decent. Like I said, the art wasn't great for me, but it's a stash, definitely. I would, like I said, I'd pick up the other 3 issues just to complete that run.
This one's in my life, so it's kind of...
That's that John Romita.
Yeah, I love that cover.
It's right. John Romita's kind of been everywhere this past few weeks. For DC, for Image, for both...
Funkoff said he used to date a Hit Girl. Interesting.
Really? Okay.
I saw Princess Leia pop at Walmart, 40th Star Wars, or the recent. Tell me why I had pain on it.
Okay. I guess I'll go ahead and go real quick. Let's see here.
Big shout out to OMG Chris. He said he actually made the show.
Ooh.
What's up, OMG?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Do we have Freedom in the house as well? Is Freedom hanging out?
Is who?
Really?
Freedom.
Freedom?
Freedom.
Freedom!
What the frick are you talking about?
You can take our lives, but you can never take our freedom.
I don't see freedom anywhere in the chat.
The mascot of OMG.
Oh, that. Okay, sorry. I was confused. I thought there was a channel named Freedom in our chat. I think the other one read this one as well, and I did not know. No. Let me see here. Yeah, no, I'm the one who read
Freedom's here.
This is Batman Sins of the Father. I didn't know this was a tie-in to the Telltale games. Unfortunately, I think you could probably read it and be okay with it. This was actually a lot better than the regular Batman title this week. And this story here, I guess if you played the Telltale games, you know that Mr. Wayne, his dad, has been like experimenting on the patients. He's not necessarily a good guy as everybody thought he was, and here Bruce is trying to essentially save what's left of the Wayne name. You know, so his mom was a good person.
Martha,
yeah. Martha was a good person. She knew what he was doing, but she was trying to stop him essentially. But yet she didn't go full fledged to try to just call him out. I think this is only a few issues long too, but this wasn't too bad. Like I said, there's decent action in it. A lot more of Batman or Bruce Wayne outside of his bat costume, trying to figure out what's going on. Essentially, and in the dead shots at the very end of it here. So, if you've read or if you played the Telltale games, and this is I don't know if it's an exact tie-in to it, but let me know in the chat if you've played those games and what you thought of Batman Sins of the Father. So it was a stash for me, even though I didn't play those. But that's it. I'm moving on. Moving on to DruManchu.
All right. Let's see.
Whoa.
Is that loud on you, Mike?
Yeah.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Am I still loud?
No, you're good now.
Okay.
Jack here says, how many Batman books came out this week? Well, you got the one Dave just reviewed. You have Batman 41. You have Brave and the Bold with Batman in it. And I think that's it.
And Batman and the Signal.
Batman and Signal. So
yep.
like 100.
Go ahead, Drew.
Let's talk about the Mighty Thor 704. This is the Death of Thor story arc still going on. The Mangog is destroying Asgardia. Odin's getting his ass handed to him. Freya's getting her ass handed to her. Odinson's getting his ass handed to him. And Jane Foster's laying in a bed dying. And she finally says, you know, enough of all this. I don't care if it's going to kill me. Mjolnir comes. She takes the hammer. She goes to face the Mangog. So this book ends basically with her finally thoring up for the last time and getting ready to lay the hammer down. Really great book. There's some really great character stuff throughout with her watching her father die and watching her mother die and then watching a loved one die. And all along the way, you start to realize that she's contemplating her own death, and she's come to grips with it. She's ready to go and fight for what's right and sacrifice herself. And I'm really digging what Aaron's doing with this story. I can't wait for him to take over Avengers, which he's going to be doing when Marvel relaunches. And this is consistently a stash for me. This is probably my pick of the week, Mighty Thor 704.
Everybody else in the chat says, Cat Run Figure says, R.I.P. my eardrums. God darn. So everybody else heard it too.
Well, I didn't hear it, which means it was me.
Yeah, it was you. Going on to Mike, your next book.
Blame it on the dog.
Blame it on the dog. Or blame it on the rain, right?
Look, man, we listen to good music on this side.
Who sings that Blame It on the Rain, Mike?
Milli Vanilli danced to it, but they didn't sing it.
Oh, was that a Milli Vanilli song? Oh,
yeah,
crap,
that was the Milli Vanilli song.
Oh, was it? Bringing it back to like 88. Jeez, OP. Uh-oh, Mike's frozen. Go ahead, Mike.
Am I? Let's do Tarna from Heavy Metal Magazine, issue number 1. I know everybody was talking about this earlier. I know Kat Ren's waiting on her copy. This was pretty good. It's a fictional city. Demons have taken over, getting ready to invade it. And all of a sudden, a naked girl falls from the sky, and she's forced to join this army. And it kind of just ends, but I'm very intrigued. The art is great. Plus, you get some naked meat and potatoes in here for a good 2 pages. So this was a definite stash for me. I'm going to continue to pick these up. So awesome cover.
Sorry. I had to comment on the Milli Vanilli. He thought it was 90s. No, it was 80. It was late 80s because I had it in middle school. I didn't start high school till 90. So I remember in middle school I had it. I was trying to get all the chicks playing a little Milli Vanilli. Didn't work. So
I don't see why not.
I don't see why not. I had the dreads. I tried wearing a wig like them, and
are you kidding me right now?
It just didn't work.
You know what you should do is you should probably have just blamed that on the rain.
I should have blamed it on the rain. So I'm just gonna move on to the next story, to the next book. Avengers 681, No Surrender, Part 7. This book here, we get a little backstory on Voyager, as well as the Avengers really really get an understanding of the severity of the game. They know that if one of these other teams wins, that's essentially goodbye Earth. So this is a good story. I thought it had a little more backstory to it, to give me a little more understanding of what was going on. Definitely, the more I read this storyline, the more I like it. So it definitely is a great story, and looking forward to. I mean, this is what I seek out every week because I didn't get on my pull list before, so I have to go try to find it each week. So hopefully next month it is going to be on my pull list. I don't have to worry about looking for it, but definite stash for me on Marvel's doing good with a couple titles for sure. What about you, Drew? You're up, Drew.
Oh, I didn't hear you there. Yeah, I absolutely love this book. I thought it was great. I thought that was on me again? Jesus.
It did again, yeah. it just kind of really squelched out there, kind of.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Rogue killing Corvus Glaive was awesome. I think that her absorbing his evil and his powers was awesome part of this book. Really dug that. I like that the narration was from one of the Lethal Legion's point of view as well. The backstory for Voyager was heart-wrenching and touching. I dug that. And I like the fact that they kind of know where this story is going at this point, and they're moving towards something. Hawkeye showing up at the end was pretty badass, and the fact that they are going full bore with this Hulk, they get the cameo reappearance of the Hulk at the very end of this. So I'm totally digging what they're doing with this weekly Avengers series. Avengers has kind of been a sore spot for the Marvel Universe for me. Not really a huge fan of what Wade was doing with his last run, but I really dig this, and I'm happy what they're doing with it, and definitely a stash again this week on this weekly title.
Everybody's in the chat talking about how old you are, what year they graduated. So people are thinking, what? Are you not in your 50s? What the hell? Going on to Mike. Avengers.
You guys
show the book, Mike. Hey,
Jason
wants you to show that book.
Show the book. I'm showing the book.
Okay, go ahead. You've seen it enough.
Awesome stuff, like you guys talking about. One thing that the ending of the past few issues with the Hulk kind of reminded me of the reveal of Doomsday back in the day. So, but yeah, this is definite stash. So.
Now, I was looking it up. The one character, is it Glory or whatever his name is? Is that his? I was trying to see if he had been in any other comics before. I didn't see anything else.
Yeah, he's a Kree general. I think he's old school. He doesn't really ring a bell for me, but I recognize him. So I'm not exactly sure. But okay. I think that he might be an old Captain Marvel character.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I guess on to you, Drew, since I'm the one that started that Avenger book.
Oh, let's see. Let's talk Superman 41.
Sex, no? Okay,
Superman
sorry.
41.
We're doing song titles, sorry. Good.
No, let's not talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about Superman 41.
Okay. Let's do that.
This is a nice little two-issue arc. This is Superman and John take a distress call to a dying planet. Really mirrors the Krypton experience. They're kind of like an underwater race. One of them wants to be saved, and the rest of them are happy to be taken by their god. This is kind of a cool story about Superman teaching John that not always can you save everybody. Sometimes they are content to die a horrible death as their planet explodes. And this was kind of cool. I dug it. Gave him a little bit of a chance to experience Krypton again. Gave John a little bit of something to think about along the way as well. And really solid Superman tale. This was not Tomasi. Robinson did this issue, and I thought that he definitely stayed on character with these guys. This is a stash.
Did you say it was based on a true story? Is that what you said?
No. It mirrors the story, the original story of Krypton. So,
okay.
Yeah, wow, it's basically a dying planet where everybody is content to let the planet die, and one scientist basically wants to save his progeny. So very much the story of Kal-El, just told from a different perspective. And in the end, they're really unable to help these people because they don't really want help. So it's kind of a strange tale, but allows Superman to teach his son a little bit of what made him himself through his own experience with Krypton. So I enjoyed it. I really liked it. I thought that it was solid.
So Funkoff said he's so old he snorts Viagra.
You don't want to do that.
Makes your nose hard, man. You don't want to do that. Mike looked right at the camera. Right when I say that. Go ahead, Mike. What's your next book?
Oh,
We got a lot of books tonight, man. We're all right. Well, we started late too, though, but we're good.
yeah. Let's do Damage number 2. Dude, shut your volume off for a minute. I love the first issue of Damage. Thought it was pretty fucking awesome. Damage number 2. We get to see the aftermath of last issue where I forgot the guy's name who's actually turns into Damage, but he wakes up in a homeless shelter.
Is it Bruce Banner?
Yes, it's Bruce Banner. It's Banner Bruce. Banner Bruce wakes up in a homeless shelter. He goes outside and fucking Deadshot's out there. Suicide Squad tries to recruit him. He's like, fuck that. What I want to know is when did Giganta, Parasite, and Solomon Grundy join the Suicide Squad, but I overlooked that. Damage basically wipes the floor with him. Titana actually clasps him in his hands, and he just busts out of her hands. At the end of this battle, Wonder Woman actually shows up, so I guess Damage in the next issue is going to be taking on Wonder Woman. So, a definite stash. I love it. So,
I thought it said cover your ears. I thought you were going to really slam it.
No. Drew don't like Damage. So.
Oh, I'm going to say, damn, I picked up Damage. It was, I didn't read the first issue and already had it on my pull list, so I had it anyhow. I had to pick it up. I read it. The only thing I did like about it was Wonder Woman at the very end. That was it. Other than that, it's a turd hole. And I'm not going to be picking up any more Damage.
What?
Sorry.
Unlike you, Dave, I learned my lesson on Damage issue number 1.
Well, that's the problem with terrible. Reviews, though.
And I'm letting it go. Yeah, I will not be reading Damage.
Okay. This is my pick of the week is by Joshua Williamson. I think he's a writer behind Flash and some of the Rebirth stuff, as well as I'm trying to think what else he had done. Turd Hole, yes.
Didn't he do Birthright?
Maybe. I don't know. This book started out, again, it's one of those books that kind of started out kind of slow. It's that Deathbed by Vertigo. DC, these DC titles are the Vertigo, the offshoot of DC. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So this one, the whole story is about this girl. She's like this writer, a ghost writer, and she gets an invitation to come out to this guy's mansion to essentially do his life story. He's laying on his deathbed, and she's going to talk to him, and she's like, why would I want to do your story? You're a boring guy. But then all of a sudden, it's just he kicks all his other servants out of the room. It's just him and her. He's laying there. He's no shirt on, blanket over him. And all of a sudden, these noises start creeping in. And all of a sudden, the room is surrounded by these monsters coming into the room. He bails out of bed, all naked, penal floppage everywhere. Very much. What was that?
So, male meat and potatoes.
Male meat and potatoes, yes. So hashtag penal floppage. That's what I would call it.
Hashtag penal floppage.
Hashtag penal floppage. So he wasn't sick after all. He was essentially pretending to be sick so the zombies and monsters would move in, so we have a chance to get the jump on him. And he bails out and he gets in his his adventure clothes, and he's asked this girl to go on an adventure with him and essentially record his tales, and that's how the story ends. And then she says she's all in. This was actually a pretty damn good book. I loved it. As soon as I kind of found out what it was about, it was definitely a good book for sure. At my pick of the week, right here, Deathbed and hashtag penal floppage. Moving on. Back to Drew now. I don't know how many more books you got.
Tales of Suspense 102. It's part 3 of 5. This is the story of the Black Widow and whether she's dead or not. Where we've got 2 of her ex-concubines, the Winter Soldier and Hawkeye, searching for her. This is fantastic. The characterization of Hawkeye is probably the best I've seen since the original Fraction run. He's just a smartass all the way. Bucky plays the straight man, kind of gives them a really nice interaction between the two of them. There's some fantastic dialogue in this book. They track down the killer from the last issue. They hold her hostage in her own apartment. Bucky is questioning her. Meanwhile, Clint is raiding her fridge for her leftovers. Bucky's like, don't do that. And he's like, we're torturing her. We can't eat her leftover Chinese food. That's ridiculous. That's pretty great. They do another interrogation where Clint uses the Winter Soldier as a threat against an old Russian spy. He thinks the Winter Soldier is going to kill him, so he talks. And then the Winter Soldier shows up, and he's like, sorry, I was late. Kind of corny there. The greatest line in a book in the past couple of months is in this book, where Hawkeye calls the Winter Soldier the second best sidekick in history. He says, well, who's the first? And he says, well, Robin. And Winter Soldier says, who the fuck is Robin? It's absolutely perfect. We get a really great end to this book. I'm not going to spoil it. You guys should be reading it. Check it out. Definitely a stash for me.
I know Paul really enjoys that book too. He's been here, he's been giving it rave reviews. So, hashtag RIP Paul. Or you can do your impression of Paul again if you want to. It's up to you. But going on to Mike, any other books? Do you have a tattoo going on your arm, Mike? If you do, I never noticed it.
I have 8 tattoos. Which one do you want me to talk about? This one?
Yeah, that's the one I saw. Yeah, I didn't ever even notice that before.
Yeah, this one actually says Faith. It's
no more.
Oh, it said Etaf.
No, it's actually my wife's middle name and my daughter's middle name. So Faith. I got a little lizard on my arm. Me and my wife walked into a tattoo parlor. I told her to pick out something. She picked out that. I got this big tribal thing on here, and of course my penguin's tattoo up here. On my legs, I have a tribal dragon on my left leg, and on my right leg, I'd show you these, but I'm not wearing any pants. On my right leg, okay. I have...
It'll make them easier to see.
The Grim Reaper. Really colorful Grim Reaper. So.
Okay. Your book.
My book. Batman and the Signal, number 2 of 3.
Sorry, I apologize.
Still not feeling this book. I'm not even going to pick up the 3rd issue. The Signal, he takes on some juvenile metahumans. This book is fucking boring. Not picking up the 3rd issue. Last.
Again, that may be one of the ones. I have 2. I haven't read it yet. The first one's so horrible, I didn't want to read 2. But again, it was on my pull list, so I had to pick it up. Or I paid for it. So,
I didn't really mind this book that much.
You read it too, didn't you, Drew?
I did.
What did you think of it?
It wasn't terrible, in my opinion. The art is still less than I want it to be. I kind of dig the fact that he kind of accuses Bruce of creating the metahuman problem in the first place. Again, I don't know how this comes from the pages of Metal. That's a weird thing that they're doing, where none of these really, except for Sideways, was literally from the pages of Metal, but nothing else so far really has been. I liked Duke a lot in We Are Robin and in Snyder's Batman run. I thought Duke was a pretty solid character. And I also liked the Color Wheel backup story that Snyder did with Duke in All-Star Batman. But this has been a little disappointing in my opinion. Not absolutely terrible, but not turd of the week quality, but I will be picking up the 3rd issue. I don't think it's something that I will be remembering fondly, but not terrible. Okay.
13 viewers. Sideways equals Spider-Man. Kind of. He kind of looks like Spider-Man a little bit, but my next book is Batman, or Brave and the Bold, Wonder Woman and Batman, or Batman and Wonder Woman, however you want to put it. I don't know. This was an okay book. It's only a 6-part miniseries. This god, or whatever he is from this alternate dimension, is coming into... he can't control, essentially, his world anymore. She's coming to ask Wonder Woman for help. So he ended up like interrupting Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman in bed, and he's like, "Well, yeah, go ahead, continue, please. I'm the god of fertility," or something like bullshit like that. Like it's the one to sit there watch him go at it, and he's like, "Whoa, wait a minute, give me it." And the Wonder Woman says, "Give me an hour," and then then Steve and Wonder Woman end up brown chicken, brown cowing. And then she ends up following this guy into this alternate dimension to try to help out, see what can happen. And all this time, Batman's kind of trying to investigate why these people are acting all weird. And was it the Irish district or something? Bullcrap like that?
Yep.
Probably all drunk, little patties.
Now hold up here.
Sorry, Mike. That was at.
I'm half Irish over here.
Well, that explains a lot.
That explains why you're half drunk.
But he ends up going and find out what's going on, and he actually ends up seeing some of the stuff that all the people are seeing, and gets sucked into this world essentially. But we don't know what's going on with Batman. But he's kind of helpless right now. But definitely, I'll be picking up issue 2 on this, and maybe even the whole run. It seems that intriguing to me. And I know Mike, you read this one too.
Yeah. So basically, the Celtic Irish gods or whatever need Wonder Woman's help. They recruit her. Batman's doing his own thing. I'll pick up issue number 2 if there's nothing else coming out that week. But other than that, this was a blast for me. I was not feeling this book.
Okay. I guess probably the last book we should talk about. I know Drew didn't read Brave and the Bold, but let's. Where did Drew go? He disappeared on us. He must be getting ready to show his tattoos.
Does Drew have tattoos?
I don't know. Maybe he's getting ready to show them. I don't know. Wait for him to get back before we'll talk about this last book. Any other books you want to run through real quick?
Are you talking about Infinity?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, I got Punk's Not Dead. This is about... Oh, what the fuck's his name? Okay, right at the beginning of this book, there's a little origin page on the beginnings of punk music and Sid Vicious and how he joined the Sex Pistols and all that stuff. Seeking Near Mint Comics is in the house. So basically, in this book, Sid Vicious's ghost hangs out with this little kid, and he gives him advice and stuff. This was my turd of the week. Very heavy on the British lingo, and it just threw me all off. So that was a blast. X-Men Gold was a stash, and Venom 162. We learned that the poisons are a mainstay in the Marvel Universe going forward. So that was a stash as well. So, and that's all I read except for Infinity.
Where's Drew? You back?
I'm back.
We want you to start. We'll hand it off to you first, talking about your stones there.
Oh, okay. I really enjoyed Infinity Countdown Prime. This is definitely a stash for me. You get Wolverine back in his first full capacity since the Legacy one-shot. That's really cool. You get some great banter with Loki, who gets some claws through his head for good measure. That's really cool. I really enjoyed this. I thought that these stones coming together is going to be a pretty cool event, and I thought the art was solid too. So definitely a stash for me with that Diodato art. Gonna love to see where this thing goes moving forward.
What about you, Mike?
If you're not familiar where the fucking Infinity Stones have been, pick up this book. It tells, in detail which each one does, and then it goes who has what stone. And this was freaking awesome. Like Drew said, the whole scene with Wolverine and Loki, and then like I said, you find out who has what stones, and it's gonna be interesting. So this was a definite stash for me. I got this Wolverine cover right here, him holding his stone.
His stones are glowing.
And Wolverine had a little interest in collecting them all, like fucking Pokemon and shit. So, interested to see what he's up to.
Yeah, I did like that Loki got a claw through the eye, and he's going to have an eye patch, maybe like Nick Fury. Who knows? We'll probably end up healing. But yeah, this was, it's nice to have the story. Of course, it's leading up to this. What is it called? Is it Infinity? What's the next book called? Infinity Countdown, #1. So it's kind of nice to get that backstory where the stones all are. It's kind of cool to see them. I don't know how much they're going to be tying in with maybe the movie. I don't know. If all, I don't know. Maybe it's just relevant again because the movie's coming out. But I did like how they did talk about the end, what each stuff does. It's kind of good for new readers to jump in. Especially if they had no idea of what they actually cover are. So, what's that?
That cover you have with the
this one here. This is the trading card cover, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
This is the only one they had. So, it's a stash for me. I'm looking forward to the first one of the run going through. But that's all my books this week. You have any quick books you want to run through real quick, Drew, before we jump into Mike's segment?
Yeah, Astonishing X-Men #8. The return of Xavier as X has been pretty cool so far. He goes into like a mind meld with Psylocke to get some boost on their psychic powers, and they end up as some sort of conglomerate monster creature. It's really fucking weird, and I really dug it. So I'm going to go ahead and stash that. Incredible Hulk 713. This is the end of the Planet Hulk 2 run. At the end of this, Amadeus Cho is no longer driving the Hulk. He is locked in the trunk. So we're going to see what happens when Hulk gets back to Earth and we get Planet Hulk, or what's it called? World War Hulk 2. They're going to redo that story. Hopefully this ends with Amadeus Cho's Hulk character getting iced in one way or another. I really dug what they were doing this at first. Now that they're kind of just retreading old ground, it's kind of, wishy-washy for me. But the action was great. The art was great, regardless of whether or not I like the continuity. It was a pretty solid book, so I'm going to keep reading this as well. X-Men Gold. I heard you talk about that a little bit, Mike. This is a stash for me as well. The action is always stellar. The art's on point. Quality book. That's all I read this week. I had a bunch that I picked up that I didn't get around to. And we'll get to those eventually, but that's about it. Referring to the chat, Jason Smith says cats and dogs don't belong near comics and toys. Don't mess with my dog, Jason. Come on. That's my ace. My ace, brother.
Jaccio said, Astonishing is my favorite X title. I'm going to disagree. I like X Gold the best so far. But X-Men Red, I don't know.
Red's been great. Blue has probably been my favorite long-term because Astonishing's only been 8 issues, but all 8 issues have been pretty solid. The first arc with the Shadow King was really good, and this X stuff has been exciting to me as well. So we'll see where it all goes.
Gosh dang, these little updates keep popping up in my ear, dude. Worse than your little squelches from your mic. Damn. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and close the comic section and jump into...
Shut your Funko mouth!
God dang, dude, you take longer each time we do it.
Well, I gotta give you suspense.
Suspense?
That's called building stamina.
But,
is that what, is it like Kegel exercises?
I gotta snort my Viagra. Probably the biggest news in the Funko universe is Funko is canceling all subscription boxes. So Collector Core is ending. the DC box, the Disney box. All them boxes are coming to an end. And from what I hear, they're going to be available in retail stores. I'm assuming Hot Topic, GameStop, all them that have their exclusives. So I think the last box that you could get is the Marvel Infinity box, which is the next Marvel box is the Savage Creatures or whatever, which I'm not going to spoil what pops in that one, but and the next one is the last one you could get. So the Infinity box. So what else? If you're interested, Funko is going to start making Pez dispensers this summer. So and Dollar General and Five Below are getting Funko Pops in the near future. So the Austin Powers Funko Pops, the first line was revealed. Liking the covers 4963. We'll be looking for the Alice Cooper Funkos in May. Yes, they look amazing. There's one of him in a straitjacket, and if I remember correctly, in his white tuxedo with the top hat. So I'll be trying to get both of those. Like I was saying, the Austin Powers, it's based on the first movie. We're getting Dr. Evil with his hairless cat, Austin Powers, a Fembot, and Vanessa. So, Ben, next thing I got is all the New York Toy Fair reveals. A lot of them I kept out because I already talked about them in past shows. But here we go. We're getting Aladdin movie moments. The Hercules Funko Pops, I talked a little bit about those. More Moana Pops. From Nightmare Before Christmas, we're getting Lock, Shock, and Barrel Pops. I don't know if they're coming in a 3-pack or they will be separate. Hopefully they're separate because I don't like the multi-packs that much. Jason Smith says, Five Below been having Dorbs. So
I don't know what Five Below is.
It's anything in the stores below $5.
Oh, gotcha.
Ghetto Pops at Dollar General. Everybody. Anyway, Winnie the Pooh, we're getting Dorbs from that. Monsters Inc. We're getting Pops. Nicktoons Dorbs. Anybody interested in that? This one might be big for some of y'all. Jetsons are getting Pops. More Nicktoons. The cartoon Doug. He's getting a bunch of Pops. Rainbow Bright's picking up, getting some Funkos. I'll be picking up those.
Mike, will there be a Quail Man pop with the Doug?
Yes, there's a couple of them actually.
Yeah, Quail Man.
Wasn't the dog something too? Pork chop.
Yeah, Pork Chop was. I don't remember. I just remember Quail Man.
Yeah, he's getting his own superhero Funko Pop too. The dog.
Sweet.
Rainbow Bright. Tomb Raider from the new movies. She's getting a bunch of Funko Pops. Ready Player One has a whole slew of Funkos. Coming to America.
Is everything in that movie already a Funko?
Yeah,
pretty much.
Actually, the one that's going to be hot for Ready Player One, they're going to have an Iron Giant Funko Pop.
Oh, sweet.
So be on the lookout for that. And a lot of the Deadpool 2 Pops were revealed. Bob Ross, Deadpool. You got a Deadpool with him, and you know they're going to oversaturate this market with Deadpool shit once the movie draws closer. Bruce Zayas mentioned WWE got old school Sting and Lex Luger, and to me, that looks like pure shit. I don't like the way Sting looks. I don't like the way Lex Luger looks. So go check it out for yourself. Deadpool in a robe. Deadpool where he's laying down like the dude in Jurassic Park. A clown Deadpool. We also are getting another Colossus, Negasonic, Domino, and a Cable based on the movie. And I think I said coming to America, we're getting Funkos for that one. Available in the Funko shop right now is the Zodiac sign Pisces. He's holding a little fishbowl, and he's got the twin fish in there. It's pretty cool if you're a Pisces or just want to collect them. And that is all I really got for Funko news. I was able to acquire 5 Funkos this week, bringing my collection up to 711. I got the last one I needed for Hellboy, and it's Lobster Johnson. So Right there. I now have all these minus the Chase Hellboy with the horns. I got the Hot Topic exclusive Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. Right there. What else did I get? I got Nux from Mad Max. I really want his Chase as well, where he's got the goggles and his mouth is spray painted. Finally got my FYE exclusive Trap Jaw, based on the comic book, not the action figure. So
what? Based on the same damn thing?
What?
The comic book and the action figure, the same damn thing.
No, they're not. We're gonna have to have a talk on your Masters of the Universe stuff.
The comic, he doesn't look like that in the comic books?
You know the mini comics that came with the action figures?
Yeah, I don't remember all when I was a kid, but I don't remember what they look like. Why?
That's how he looked in the comic.
Didn't they look like an action figure too? Kind of.
Nope. What
do you mean, no?
God damn it, Dave. And last but not least, the Funko Shop exclusive, the Zombie Sasha. I got
that's pretty dope.
My Walking Dead collection. I got to get my hands on the rest of these cats, but and that's all
if you were to pull that Funko out of his case and to show me the Funko, I would say, hey, that's Trapjaw from Master of the Universe.
Okay, but not the.
And you'd be right, but wrong.
Let me go get the other one. Hold on.
Okay, Peanut Floppage.
I'm gonna change the name of this segment to Take Yo Funko Time.
Yeah, I guess so.
This is the way
enlighten me, Mike.
This is the way he was made as an action figure.
And how is that much different than the other one? Colors?
Well, he's not wearing any pants in the
freaking pants. That does not make a difference. Color does not make a difference.
Grandpa style, not the comic book style.
Whatever. We're talking about clothing here. We're not. You know how they talk about Captain America's outfit changes between movie to movie? That's kind of what that is. It's still freaking Trapjaw. But I digress. Let's not talk about Trapjaw's panties anymore.
Did you guys get anything this week?
Moving on. I didn't not get any Funkos. I didn't show this off last week. This one was a half off, was $10. Although the rest of the ones he has are $20. I'm not sure if I want to get the rest of them, but I picked up the Justice League Dark. This is the new 52 Zatanna. So that's pretty cool. I would like to get the rest of them, Hawkman and oh God, I'm horrible at names tonight. What the hell's his name?
Constantine.
John Constantine. God dang it, man. But that's the only one I picked up this week. I don't have any new Funkos. How about you, Drew? Anything toy related?
Actually, did pick up Funko. I think I got it last week, though. This is Robin as Red X from Teen Titans Go. Really dug that, so I picked that up immediately. Also, Toys R Us is having a sale right now. All Marvel merchandise through, I guess it's through this weekend, is buy one, get one half off. So I went a little bit crazy. They're over on the shelf right now, but I got most of the Black Panther wave of Marvel Legends right now. I got the 2-pack with Shuri and the comic book version of Claw. I also picked up.
Does he have pants on?
What's that? Yeah, they all have pants on.
Okay, because what's in between that comic book character and the movie one?
He has shorts on.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
I also picked up this 12-inch Marvel Legends Thor figure, which I'm absolutely in love with. He's got a cloth cape, which is amazing, highly articulated. Because of 2 different hammers, this one glows like lightning. The greatest thing about him is you can switch his heads out, and you can also take his hair and his helmet off. There's a couple interchangeable parts. Yeah.
You look like Mike. Take that back off. It looks like Mike without a hair on. Do you look like Mike? See how that works.
So, this is a really dope figure, and I'm really glad I picked him up. I ended up getting the Black Suit Spider-Man, was my second 12-inch figure. I grabbed the Deadpool initially, played around with him for a little while, put him in his box, and took him back to Target. I was like, not for $50. But this one definitely at buy one get one half off was definitely a steal, and I really, really dig it, and I'm glad that I picked it up. Beyond that, picked up a lot of variant covers and some really nice back issues, but I'll share those at another time.
Walgreens right now, all their Marvel Legends are what, $12.50?
Yeah, most of them already have it, and the ones that I'm looking for aren't out yet. So I'm looking for that Mr. Fantastic, supposed to be hitting the streets really soon. But I just picked up an old school Fantastic. Hold on a second, pull him up.
Oh, he'll get that one because he's stretching.
Hopefully he has parents.
Hopefully he does.
Old school Toy Biz, Mr. Fantastic.
That's awesome.
He's got Bendham arms and a Bendham midsection. The only thing about this guy is it is absolute hell getting him to stand up.
Doubt it.
It's a pain in the
That's
dick.
Cool.
And I got one more cool thing that I want to show you guys. Hold on one second.
Uh-oh, he's going to break it.
And that's this fantastic 6-inch Marvel Legends desk right here. And the J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, okay.
That'll sit behind it. And he's got ranting action.
Oh.
So he can yell at Spider-Man. It's pretty great. I saw that, and it was the price was super low, and I could not pass it up. I was like, he's like, it's this much, and I was like, all right, give it to me. Normally, I'll talk him down. I was like, I'm not even having that. I'll pay the $15 you have on that Jameson figure. I'm glad you didn't put 50 on it, because I'd have been like, yeah, I'll buy it. But need to have a J. Jonah Jameson.
I'm looking for a Punisher Walgreens, the Marvel Legends. I can't find any around here.
Which one are you looking for? The exclusive, or are you looking for the vintage?
Anyone, I don't care. And, if I can find one for $12.50 around here, I'd pick him up. But we only have 2 Walgreens, and I'll have like 5 Marvel Legends action figures apiece.
I'll tell you what, let me do some hunting for you. I'll see what I can scrounge up.
That's sweet. I guess that's it then, Mike.
Shut your fuck up, Mo! Big shout
your voice is you're losing that voice. The thing I kind of want to talk about tonight. Jeremy Edwards.
Yeah.
Who the hell is that?
Jeremy. Oh, Trinity. Yes, I know Jeremy. I know Trinity. Same person. It's not like it's Drew and Paul. No, we all have got to see it now. Everybody's been talking about it. It's hard to pass it up in anything like comic book movie news. And Drew was not on last week, so we're going to go ahead and give the floor to him first, talking about Black Panther and what his thoughts are on that.
Black Panther. There's only one real way I can put it, and I said it on the Facebook page, and that's good, not great. Very good, not great. I felt that the pacing of the movie was a little bit off for me. Any gripes I have are really minor, so don't think that I'm poo-pooing on Black Panther. The pacing was a little bit off. I thought that the action was very generic, if not forgettable. A lot of two panthers punching each other as they fly through the air, which kind of like turned into nothing. A lot of generic CG stuff. It's just a lot of forgettable action. I think the most memorable action scene was the first scene where he was in the jungle taking out everybody. It's the scene that's in the trailer. I feel like as far as the characters go, they were all really well written. It's a really, really well written movie as far as dialogue's concerned, as far as characterizations. I think Coogler did a really great job directing the supporting cast. I think that the negative of that is that T'Challa kind of comes off as boring in his own movie. Compared to all the colorful characters that surround him. I thought that the one point that kind of dispels that is the incredible acting he did with his father on the ancestral plane. I thought that stuff was great. I thought it was great how they built in all the all the comic book lore with Bast and the heart-shaped herb and M'Baku and the gorilla tribe, the Jabani tribe being, sequestered away from the rest of Wakanda. I thought that was great. I thought it was great how they had the fight with M'Baku. I just thought it became repetitive when they did the exact same thing with Killmonger. Again, another negative. Why does Marvel keep killing off their villains? I could have used Claw in a supporting small scene in just about any other Marvel movie. He was fantastic. But beyond that, a really, really good movie. I just don't think it ranks in like my Marvel top 10. I think that it was a really good movie, not the best Marvel movie, in my opinion. That's just it. And another thing is, I think that it was put out in the wrong order. I know that releasing Black Panther in Black History Month is, it was a big deal as far as Marvel's marketing machine was concerned. I think that they really created like a wave of social awareness and kind of rode that to the bank. I think that was genius marketing on Disney and Marvel's part. I do think, though, that Thor is a much better lead-in to Infinity War. I think that the way Thor ends off is a much better lead-in to the Infinity War movie than the way Black Panther ends off. And I think that if we got Black Panther in November and we just got Thor leading into Infinity War, I think it would be better for the MCU as a whole. Beyond that, there's not much that I can say. I just didn't have as much fun with it as I had with recent Marvel releases, but it's a really, really good movie. Really enjoyed it.
Okay, so I think we're going to make you go last next time because you tend to sum everything up entirely too
sorry.
good for us. No, you're good. You're good. Going on to...
It was a movie. I had popcorn.
Going on to Mike, the verbal assassin.
The verbal assassin?
Yeah. What do you think of Black Panther?
I thought it was really good. I liked the supporting characters. I thought it was badass. I liked Michonne, whatever her character name was, plus her nipples. Her nipples were a plus. I didn't like the
I didn't even notice those.
Really?
Yeah.
It must be a West Coast thing. I thought they overdid Wakanda. I thought, you know what? I'm glad they didn't use like the comic book version of Claw. That red suit he wears and the big freaking Sonic thing. I like how his hand opened up and fucking did all that shit. I don't like how the Panther uniform could store all that energy and he could release it like in one big blast. I don't know. I've never been the big Black Panther fan. I don't know if he could do that in the books or not, but I've never seen it. But yeah, it's not the worst Marvel movie. It's not the best Marvel movie. It's better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2. How about that?
Oh, no.
Better than Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Is that what you said?
Yep.
Okay, well, we are now taking application for a new cast member for Boston or Stash It. I kind of agree with you, Drew. It was good, but I don't think it was great. It definitely wasn't my top 10 Marvel books or Marvel movies. One thing about Black Panther, he's never been a really solid A character in the books. Now, I can understand why they would promote him, trying to get a new audience in and stuff like that, trying to create a character that a whole group of society can attach to. That's great. But to me, it just wasn't great. It didn't have a lot of the action that a lot of the Marvel movies had. It didn't have a lot of the humor that the other Marvel movies had. It had a few things here and there, but it just didn't get me. And I do agree that, like, I love Claw. I love the guy who plays Claw. It's unfortunate he had died in that movie as well. Now, was it in the chat or was it you just said something about it's so bad that they seem like they always kill off the Marvel characters? Now, I don't know where else Killmonger would have popped up in this MCU at all, but
yeah, I think Killmonger dying really, I mean, spoiler alert, Killmonger dying is really necessary for his character arc. I really like how that happened. The thing for me is just like at this point, Black Panther has really, 4 villains, 5 if you count his sister Shuri. Black Panther has like 5 villains in all of his whole story. You got White Wolf and Killmonger and M'Baku, the man ape, and Claw. Claw's dead. M'Baku's a friend. Killmonger's dead, and White Wolf. They used a lot of the White Wolf character to inform who Killmonger was in this movie, as opposed to who Killmonger was in the books. So I mean, you've basically, like, hats off to Marvel. They found the way with the perfect marketing and the perfect director writing and the perfect actor, the perfect cast. Supporting cast is great. I think that Black Panther does everything that it set out to do. I think that the marketing, though, overhyped it to a point where this is now probably one of the best grossing movies of all time. Especially, it's the best movie in February. It's the best movie in February in a 4-day weekend. In its first 4 days, it blew away by double what Justice League made its entire theatrical run. Nobody expects that in a Black Panther. And I think the problem now is you're going to need to make a Black Panther sequel. And what the hell do you do with it? How do you make a Black Panther sequel interesting? For me, you have to throw other Marvel characters in there to juice it up. Because, again, Black Panther does not have another credible villain that is exclusive to him. So you have to kind of go out of your way to find something to do with that. And most of the greatness that was this movie is kind of a one and done. Wakanda being a hidden gem, that's a one and done, because we're going to see Wakanda out in the world. Killmonger's a one and done. Claw, you kill him off, he's a one and done. M'Baku, he's your ally now, so you can't use him as a villain. I think that they blew their load on a lot of things they probably should have kept for a sequel. And I think that Ryan Coogler was cautious in the fact that they probably weren't going to get a sequel. And if you thought about Black Panther 10 years ago, putting on a Black Panther movie, there's no way it's making $400 million in its opening weekend, and there's no way it's getting a sequel. And now it made that kind of money. Now they're going to make a sequel. I think they kind of painted themselves in a corner on it. Hopefully they can do something with it like they did with Winter Soldier, where they kind of bring in another character to kind of carry the whole thing along. But, we'll wait and see. That's phase 4, phase 5. We'll see what happens with that. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. I think that I focus on the criticism more than the praise, because so many people are bending over backwards to blow this movie. And I'm just, it's like, I had fun with it. It was good. It's just, I just bought Thor Ragnarok digitally, and I've watched it 3 times in the last 3 days, and it doesn't get old. The action is intense. The soundtrack is great. And I think that a lot of things like that fell flat in the Black Panther movie for me. And it just didn't have the punch that I wanted it to have. So,
but Jason Smith had said Iron Man was a big character as well, but Iron Man's had a consistent run in the comics, where Black Panther has kind of been hit and miss. He's been canceled quite a few times throughout, Marvel Sisters since his first appearance, where Iron Man's been a consistent title throughout the history of Marvel. So I think that's where, I don't know, where if you look at other characters, like look at, in the B characters, it seems like they constantly get titles that get canceled. Iron Fist is one. Luke Cage is one. That they just don't have that gump to hold their own title, to hold their own readers. And I think that's where it was kind of, for me, like Black Panther having his own movie. It's kind of like, wow, he's always been kind of a background character, almost secondary. Right. It seemed like to me.
Jeremy says in the chat that who would be the next in line for the villain for Black Panther. That's the thing, man. Unless they do like the King of the Dead story, where it's kind of like mortality is the villain, or they do the story where Shuri takes over and becomes the villain. I kind of think they wrote themselves in a hole where people like Shuri as a sidekick character, and they're not going to buy her as a villain. Whereas had they made Shuri an unappreciative bratty kid like she was in the comics, people would buy her as the villain when that comes around. That's my thing, man, is in a Black Panther 2 sequel, who do they make the villain? I don't know. Maybe they make something up, or they grab something from, Avengers lore, do Kang or something like that. That seems like too big a villain for a Black Panther movie, but
somebody come back.
I don't see them with it moving forward.
So I'm going to come back in and show the lower lip and be in Wakanda again and to be fighting for the throne. You know, who knows? Yeah. Anything else for you, Mike? You've been sitting there very quiet.
About Black Panther?
Yeah.
I actually fell asleep in it, but I was heavily medicated because of my Achilles. But I fell asleep. My wife hit me in the shoulders. Wake up! But yeah, no.
Okay, so then we'll move on from that. The other thing I want to talk about, there's a few other things about with some of the cancellation of some Marvel and some DC titles. But Mike has not seen that video of the new, that relaunch of Marvel. It's like a 1-minute video. I haven't
seen that video either.
Okay, I have it queued up here. I don't think we should get a copyright strike because it's not like a studio, hopefully. So I was going to go ahead and screen share that, and we'll go ahead and show it. Make sure my other window's down here. Let me double check and make sure I got it open before I jump into it. Yeah, there it is. I don't want my dirty stuff showing. Oh, that's the wrong screen.